What's up, everybody? We're back at Local Look, episode 5. Man, I got a huge smile on my face. We're about to get into why. Those who participated in last night's meeting, you guys already know. I'm pretty sure you guys are on cloud 9 right now. It's a beautiful thing. First I want to give a shout out to the homie that I've never met, but you know we've connected through social media, and he gave me a shout out on his podcast because you know I put a little segment of his on my podcast. So Thomas Buckley, what's up, man? He's on Southgate Police Scanner. Go ahead and check him out if you're from Southgate or you know from the surrounding areas and you want to know what's going on in the community. Those guys are doing some really good work over there. So thank you once again, Thomas, for shouting me out, man. Right back at you. So let me get into last night. Man. I have never seen Arthur Schaefer and We the People Rising so well behaved and quiet. And let me throw in Adolfo Varas in there too, because man, he went from screaming and shouting his lungs out at the previous council meeting to coming here last night and just being very calm, very collective. He tried to choose his words, you know, a little better. He went from saying that he was gonna bring the FBI and that they were going to recall Hernandez and Christian and Chris Garcia, and Baru, except for Jack, of course. He went from saying all that to saying that maybe some of the stuff that's going on in the city is questionable. So that's a big leap, man. And this is what I'm saying. You can't take those gigantic leaps without any proof and nothing to show for it. You know, that's where I'm getting at. And, you know, I'm not going to pick on the kid too much today because he broke down yesterday. You know, he could not handle the criticism. His PR manager, Valeria, was screaming at him to shut his mouth. It was quite a sight, you know, and it just goes to show that these people, they're not true activists. You know, they don't have the best interest of the city in mind. You know, not here, not over there in Cudahy, not here in Southgate, or anywhere near here. These people, they're like screens. You can see right through them. I mean, I know I can because, you know, I've seen what goes on in politics, you know, since I was in high school. You know, I've seen the back and forth, who's fake to whom, you know, who will accept this from that person. You know, somebody last night made a really good point that, you know, Jack Guerrero attended the Donald Trump inauguration, and I guarantee you that Baru Sanchez, Chris Garcia, Christian Markovich, or Chris Hernandez wouldn't be caught dead at the Trump inauguration. Excuse me. You know, I know for a fact that those guys will never attend something like that, because I know they're like me. I would if somebody sent me an invitation to a Donald Trump inauguration, I'll burn that shit. You know, and that's the difference between them and Jack. You know, the last night, that man made it very obvious whose side he was on. He wasn't on the side of the Cudahy residents. He was on the side of We the People Rising and the agitators that he's been working with, because last night he had yet another opportunity to say that, you know, he doesn't stand with those people, that he stands with his community, and he failed. He did not do it, you know. And aside from that, he said shame on you to a couple of our Cudahy educators, some of the teachers that are here teaching in our public schools. So, you know, I pretty much feel like he ran his entire campaign to the ground last night. And not only him, but Adolfo Varas as well. Their careers should be done after what happened last night. And to everybody who showed up last night, man, I can't even say how amazing it was to see all those people there, actual Cudahy residents standing up for their community, not allowing these right wing conservative Trump supporters to agitate us, to speak for our community. There's no way that people from the outside who are not going to be affected by the decisions that happen in Cudahy speak for us. There's no way. There is absolutely no way. Nobody here in Cudahy is going to Torrance and telling them what to do or telling them what to do in their community. So there's no reason why those people should be coming to our city and telling our council members, not even telling, but yelling at them and demanding these things when, you know, if those things that they want go through, they're not even going to see the effects of it because they don't live here. So that being said, man, I kind of wrote something that I wanted to share last night at the Cudahy Council, but so many people were trying to get a comment card, and you know, me and the people who worked with me and getting all these people together for this meeting, you know, it was more important for them to speak. To me, it was more important for them to speak because, you know, I confronted this group a year and a half ago, by myself, and not by myself actually. I would say Louis Medina, thank you for coming out, and Louis V, he came out as well. A couple other people came out, and we confronted this group, and it was the same crap, and we already know how they operate. They're arguing about the same stuff they were arguing a year and a half ago, and it was more important for my community to see what's going on firsthand and to speak out against it. So I'm just gonna read this little, you know, I had this whole thing ready before the meeting, and then my dad, he hit me with something that I never thought I would have to deal with. So, you know, because I didn't get to share it at the meeting and I was helping everyone get comment cards, especially that young boy the 12-year-old boy who went up there and spoke. He was looking for comment cards. He didn't have a pen. You know, he didn't know who he had to turn in his comment card to. God bless that young little man, because he went up there and he brought the house down. You know, and the kids are the ones that we never listen to. You know, when kids walked out of school and did their march when Trump won, nobody, half of the people were like, oh, look at those kids, they just want to get out of school. Nah, man, these kids care. These kids have parents that might get deported or have already gotten deported or trying to, you know, split their families up. So how are you going to dismiss anything that these kids are saying in a time like this? So my dad hit me with some shit and I wrote this down. I wrote down like a little poem. You guys know, I'm somewhat of a musician. So I wanted to read this out loud to everybody now. Last night, my father broke my heart. Not at all directly, but it tore me apart. See, my dad since the 70s has been breaking his back around the clock to make sure I had the things that he never got. Never in fear, day in and day out. Something a man could really be proud about. But last night, man, the scene was a trip. He asked if I could make him a copy of his citizenship. My soul sank to the bottom as I walked to the printer. I told him, I got it, Dad. Just finish your dinner. I took a seat at my desk and instantly started bawling. The country has turned my father into a criminal. How low freedom has fallen. How many of you right-wing conservatives can say you fought that hard? For a fresh start, a new life, without fearing black bars? Go back to your city, sit down, and think deep. What if we made you the scapegoat, and you were chased away by sheep? So yeah, man, my dad came into the room and he asked me if I could make him a copy of his citizenship so that he can have around in case he gets hassled by, you know, police, ICE, whatever. My dad's a truck driver. He has been for a very long time. Another one of those jobs that, you know, without him, there's no way this country survives. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And what I'm going to share next is all the wonderful, beautiful speeches from last night, y'all. I got them. I don't have them all, but I picked out some really good ones, and I recorded them, and I got them on here. So for those of you that could not make it last night, try to make it next time. Oh, that's one more thing. No matter what happened yesterday, these guys will most likely be back. And we can't be one day warriors. We can't be one day protesters. We can't be, there one day and not there the next. And some of those people that were there, they had a point. A lot of us have not been to the council meetings until now. And I believe that if it wasn't for these agitators, we still wouldn't be there. They would just be running the city however, and we wouldn't know. So we need to continue to go to these meetings. We need to see what's being passed. We need to see where the money's being spent. Absolutely. We need to keep at it. We need to hold our council members responsible, and most importantly, go vote March 7th, I believe. Go vote. Make sure that Jack Guerrero does not get that seat back. Make sure that we, get rid of him and anyone else that he's trying to bring to our city council, whoever his running mate is. We can't have that. We can't have another right-wing conservative Republican that doesn't care about the community to sit next to him so that they can leverage and start voting for things that we don't want, or abstaining their vote, like Jack Guerrero loves to do. By the way, Jack Guerrero left the meeting last night. He did not stay for the entire thing. So, that's what happens when these people are met with opposition. They were in a fight that they weren't going to win because the people were too strong. The people were too loud. And that's what it means when they say power of the people. So thank you guys all for coming out last night. It was an amazing sight to see, and I hope it's not the last time that people get involved in something with the city. The election's coming up, like I said, so make sure you go out and vote. Oh, man, I was just still replaying some of those moments last night. It was really, really amazing. Thank you to the teachers that came out and spoke on the behalf of the city. That was really awesome. To all the residents, really, man. I just can't say thank you enough. It was amazing. So with that, I'm just gonna start running some of these speeches so you can hear, including that 12-year-old boy who tore the house down, man, with his speech. These are public comments that everyone got 2 minutes. Let's listen into some of these, huh?
Where are they gonna get the money? We need to come together as a community, and we need to help each other. And these people, I don't know what they're doing here, because it's not about that only. I'm not an immigrant. I'm a fifth-generation American and an American Indian also, but I do support our immigrants because they are our family, they're our neighbors, and they're our community, and they're part of what makes Cudahy run. Not only that. So we need to come together just like we did tonight all the time, and we need to support our board. Because I haven't seen any proof of corruption, have you? No! Where's the proof? Where's the proof? And all I hear about is a ballet. All I hear is about a ballet. What about all the other sports that are doing good? You don't say that, so maybe you should next time. Thank you.
Right here, I know they don't like to be called white supremacy, but guess what? They're white supremacists. Yeah. Right, Jack? You can't deny the facts? Now, I come from a community where people are scared. People are scared of people like Jack. People are scared of people like these people. And when Trump says he wants to build a wall, he's just afraid, and he wants to put what he doesn't know aside. So guess what? I am what he's afraid of. We are what he's afraid of. You know what I read? I read his site, and you know what I read? He wants to Yeah. Okay. So for the 4 people here to the right, I want you to be my future. I'm gonna have to clean up all the trash that he leaves, that they leave, all the trash that Trump leaves behind. I am your guys' future, so I want there to be a clean future, a clean house where I can go up and be proud of. And they say that Trump is he shows what we want. Guess what? He doesn't show what I want.
First and foremost, Jack Guerrero had a chance to vote yes or no on Cudahy being a sanctuary city, and he abstained. He says it's for the people. All right, my name is Eden. I've been living in Cudahy for over 27 years. I am a legal resident, but I understand that there are others my age who came here as children, and along with the rest, it would be unfair for them to get deported when they came here as children without a say. If it wasn't for the American intervention, there wouldn't be a need for Latin Americans to come here. Now, 200 plus years ago, the first wetbacks, English settlers migrated through the Atlantic Ocean. Because of tax evasion. That not only is selfish and greedy, but it's relatively humorous to have their silver spoon-fed descendants now pointing fingers at Native Americans. And I say Native Americans because Mexicans, Guatemalans, and are partly indigenous descent from Mayans and Aztecs who have been here in the Americas for thousands of years. And are we forgetting that California, Texas, and others used to be Mexico? And it's conclusively amusing to me saying illegals don't pay taxes when they do, not only through work, but also from other purchases here in the States. Speaking of taxes, where are Trump's? Sanctuary cities. Criminals still get treated like criminals, and even if they're immigrants, it's worse because that's deportation. Sanctuary cities policies are legal and are protected by the 10th Amendment. Aside of the topic, I'm tired of white and black people telling Latinos to learn English. The English language originated in Northwest Germany. And if you're black, you should be ashamed of yourself. You guys are saying like a white man treating you. Thank you.
Right! But let me say this. You know, all these people in the back, many of these people are I am a resident of the city of Bell. I'm not from Cudahy, but I used to shop in Cudahy when I was growing up, and I used to patronize visiting Cudahy. But let me tell you something. If you guys are for supporting sanctuary cities, you know, right now our president up there in Washington is breaking the Constitution. Yep. Why? Because right now he hasn't given up his Trump companies, and you know that, and that is a violation of the ambulance clause.
Booyah!
Let me tell you something.
Pull out the Constitution now.
You guys should know, and you guys should listen to your own residents, which many of them are immigrants. Yep. And even if they don't have the right to vote, you guys up there have the right to vote for us. Vote for them and think about them. Because they are the people that you should represent, not the people who come from the outside. You know what we call carpetbaggers. I gotta say this. If right now the state of California and all of us are supporting sanctuary cities as a state, then we should stand by the state of California. We are going to be the example of all. So be the history right now and make history right now and be the first city, one of the first cities with Maywood to be a sanctuary city. Right.
I've been in politics for a while now.
Cudahy and the decision to make Cudahy a sanctuary city. The United States of America is the land of immigrants. And let me remind everybody that the United States of America was encroached by the settlers that were on the Mayflower. Okay? So anyone that comes here from out of town to insult immigrants here, whether they're here legally or illegal, shut your mouth.
Yes!
When someone comes to our cities and they disrespect our residents, whether they are here documented or undocumented, it's up to everybody to stand together and stand for what's right. okay? We recently had a young man in Kansas City that was killed by hatred. We cannot allow this activity to happen in our community. Our boys, our men and women have fought for this country and have the right to live here. We died for this country, we have a right to live here without being harassed. Another thing too.
She needs to be warned.
Robin and Antaeus, you have each a warning.
Thank you.
Agree with the speaker or disagree with the speaker? You just let her
Yes.
We have minors here. We have young men and women here. And you know what? They have targets on their back because of the administration we have right now at the White House. We need real leadership, and it's not coming from the White House. Let's start it at local levels.
Yeah.
For my nephew, because I feel that they're walking around here with targets on their back because of the color of their skin. That's
yes.
not right. Thank you. Any activist who invites hatred to our communities is not a real activist. They're posers. Shame on them.
Aliens in our cities. And we must not allow them to invade our sanctuaries, just as we must not allow people to represent us who do not have our best interests at heart. Councilman Guerrero was offended by insinuations that he invited this group of sick-hailing white supremacists to our community.
Yes.
He is adamant he did not, and I believe him. I believe that he did not explicitly send the invite, but he did invite them through his actions to proudly attend an inauguration for a man who has shamed, denigrated, lived, and defamed our people, and they go on record saying he does not support Cudahy becoming sanctuary city on the grounds that it is only symbolic. Those are treacherous acts in this community. In the most symbolic of ways is the most important thing to people. Our community needs to feel supported and safe, but Councilman Guerrero seems more concerned with hobnobbing with those who will make him feel the elitism of his higher education.
Yeah.
Only Stanford and Harvard that taught you a little less accounting and business and a little more social justice and compassion. And cannot be allowed in Cudahy and any of our cities.
Right, good evening, council, residents, and activists that have attended. My name is Jacqueline Cardona, and I have been a part of this community for 40 years. Born and raised here, attended public schools here, and now I have the privilege to be a public school teacher here. And I'm here for my students, for the youth. And I commend you, Garcia, because you stood up and helped this make this a sanctuary city.
Yep.
Unless you've been in the classroom and you've heard children cry with the fear that their parents may be deported, unless you had a student come and tell you, I need the work because I have to visit my mother who's on the other side of the border, you cannot know the pain these children are going through.
Yes. Yes.
Community, and I love what I do. And when hate and bigotry comes to this community, I will tell you what I tell my students. You can do anything you want. I did it right here. Ms. Guerrero did. She also attended a private elite university. Though she didn't throw it in anybody's face. I just wanted to add that. And when I see my students, I don't see immigration status. I see future lawyers and doctors.
That's right.
Teachers.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
But I'm appalled by the hypocrisy of someone that claims to be part of this community, yet does not support it. And I will stand with my children.
That's not professional. professional. That is not professional for you, councilman.
This is the fourth time you interrupted a speaker. A public speaker.
Censor him.
Get him out of here.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank the City Council, or at least 4 of them. When I look at all 4 of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, sell out, sorry. I'm proud. I see my students. I'm a teacher here at Ellen Ochoa Local School. And when I see you, I see them. And I had to write what I'm going to say because I didn't want to deviate. I needed to control my feelings. So besides seeing people who look like the community they serve, I also see the same strength, courage, and hope that I see in the faces of my 10-year-old students. The eyes of my students have filled my heart with love for over 20 years, and it is those eyes that keep me coming back. In my classroom, we do not build walls. We sit together to make a mission home called a classroom, to fill our hearts with love, our brains with knowledge, and our souls with compassion. They are the leaders of tomorrow, and I'm so hopeful for the just and tolerant future that they are preparing for this great community. Believe me, if there is a silver lining to hate, bigotry, and vitriol that you spout, the silver lining is that it has awoken a consciousness, a voice that cannot be silenced. These are the voices of my students, their parents, and the people who love them. These are the voices that will not be afraid to confront hatred head on. We do not build walls in our classrooms or in our community. We will not allow walls to be built in our country, in our community. We will build a beautiful multicolored quilt that is made up of all the uniqueness that each human being possesses.
Yes.
You can keep your cold, imaginary, gray, ugly wall that represents your heart and your soul.
Yes. It's a good project. Yes.
Oh man, doesn't that make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside? Man, I got, like, my hairs are raised up. I got chills. I'm all about that life, dude. It was amazing. It was so incredible. It's funny to see the faces on the people who say that we're nothing but criminals, we're nothing but, rapists, and then an entire room full of the community comes out and speaks in that way, in that manner. We're educated. We know what we're talking about. We've known this for all these facts, man. We've known them for a long time. It's the people on the right who don't acknowledge what our community really means to the rest, to what our communities mean in this country. A lot of the jobs that we take, Americans won't take. I'll tell you, I'm first generation. I will never go pick strawberries for minimum wage, or even if the money was all right. Man, your body is like number one, dude. Like, I don't even take care of mine. I'm a big dude, but imagine on top of that, I gotta go bend over for hours, or be out in the hot sun. Man, get out of here. I come from a office background. I've been in the QA game. I used to test video games for a long time, and I like to be in an office with air conditioning. So if me, first generation, is not down for that job, believe me, Arthur Schaefer, you're not down for that job. So man, those educators, thank you guys so much. Thank you, ladies, for coming out, and the men and women and children. It's funny. It's funny to finally show these people that our community is more. It's much, much, much more than kids smoking weed down the street, or graffiti, or gangs, or it's not that at all. It's far from it. We have a lot of educated people in these communities, a lot of them who who have known all this information, like I said, for so long. But I think, in my opinion, this is why people haven't gotten involved. It's dirty. It's a lot of people who are on Facebook 24/7 making up lies about you. I've had countless conversations already with people who are like, oh, so and so has 20 different Facebook accounts and 20 different emails, and they go around harassing people and sending them messages. And I've been sent messages already. I've been sent hate mail. I've been sent hate comments. I've been sent all kinds of crazy, ridiculous stuff. And what are politicians doing, or people who want to be politicians like Adolfo Varas, like what and his PR manager, what are you guys doing effing around on the internet all day? Like, that's not where the fight is at. So I mean, it's funny. I don't know if you guys saw this post, but let me read to you guys during the weekend what was said about me. Also, keep in mind in this little PR poster, whatever the hell this is, they spelled my name correctly in the first half of the article, and then they spelled it wrong like halfway through. But this is what it says. It says, used to cover up for corruption in Southeast cities. Alan Garcia does Cudahy Councilman Chris Garcia's PR, according to Cudahy constituents. Councilman Garcia hired Alan to attack anyone who questions the corruption in the city of Cudahy. Alan Garcia is used to distract constituents from the real issues happening in our corrupt government. Alan is supposed to buy Cudahy Councilman Chris Garcia time to win his re-election against opponent Jack Guerrero, who has been very vocal about the corruption involving the Cudahy Millennial Council at all cost. Allen, spelled Allen, Garcia, is supposed to keep the masses occupied from researching or looking into financials at the city of Cudahy, California. Alan Garcia has been attacking civil rights community activist Adolfo Varas, who spoke against the corruption in the city of Cudahy ever since Adolfo Varas questioned the financials in the city of Cudahy. Alan Garcia has been doing attacks against Adolfo and his PR manager Valeria Ponce, whom been speaking the truth through financials which may be obtained in the city of Cudahy through public records requests. Alan Garcia does not want Ponce or Varas to follow the money in Southgate nor Cudahy. So that was one with a picture of me singing in my Rage Against the Machine tribute band, and then the other one has a picture of me, the picture of me well dressed in a tie and I'm dressed like if I'm running for council, to be honest. And that's the only picture I have online like that, so I guess that's why they chose it. And it says, Councilman Gil Hurtado exposed. Southgate Councilman Gil Hurtado has been using Alan Garcia to attack constituents who speak against corruption. A credible source, Jaime Navarro, claims Gil Hurtado and Alan Garcia will be running on a slate in 2019 for Southgate City Council if Hurtado loses March 7, 2017, elections against Southgate City Clerk Carmen Avalos. Alan Garcia, a Southgate resident who grew up in Cudahy, is being used to cover up the corruption in the city of Cudahy and Southgate. Alan goes around attacking anyone who speaks against corruption and makes attack flyers against them. He is a master at manipulation and deception. Whoa! So this was obviously made by Adolfo Varas and Valeria Ponce, and it's funny they say that I have been attacking them since they went to our council meeting, because that is a lie. The first time that I even mentioned Adolfo Varas was when he went after the council members and saying that they took down a banner for a food program from someone else. So I then challenged him. He never responded, and it was him who said community activists should start getting involved, and here I am, and he doesn't like it. Valeria Ponce also last night spoke at our city council, and she she said that I edited the video that I posted of her, which is a complete lie. That video, the only thing I did to that video was cut the beginning of it that nobody needed to hear, which was just that she does PR for celebrities, which she repeats further in the video. So, you know, I just, for sake of not putting up a 30-minute video of her ranting, I just cut out what people needed to hear. You know, if you want to hear the whole thing, have her send you the video and see if she says anything that contradicts anything that I said. So these are the games that these people play. You know, one day she says, "Thank you, Alan. You're making me famous. This is getting me views. This is getting me dates. This is getting me clients." She went from that to, "Oh, we're getting hate. We have to go into hiding. If anything happens to us, you know who to look towards." So, you know, to say that I will harm somebody because of all of this is ridiculous. That's, maybe they think that because that's how they play and that's how they operate. But, you know, you're not going to pin that stuff on me. You're not going to, there's no way you can create lies about me, man. Like, I've been about the truth since I can remember, you know, and, you know, that's why I'm in a Rage Against the Machine tribute band, you know. Like, I understand we can't go out there and shut it all down like the way that Rage would love to see happen, but, you know, within politics, within the game, you're not playing it right. Believe me when I say you're not playing it right, man. You and your PR manager, that's not the way politics works, man. And regardless, you know, no matter where that video came from or who sent it to who, it ended up in my lap and I exposed you. So for you to go up there and say that I edited that video is complete craziness. And then for you to say that, you know, you're happy about it, and then now you're getting threats and it's becoming an issue in your life, pick a side. You know, either you gloat about it or it's making your life terrible. So this is just the beginning. My podcast and my page have been up for like a month. My podcast less than that. And these people are falling apart because of opposition, guys. We finally have opposition, and we have to stay at it. We have to continue to hit them hard, harder than they hit, because they don't even come with facts. No facts were even, you know, told by their side last night. It was all just, you know, hateful rhetoric with no facts whatsoever. Our people came prepared. So we have to continue to be prepared, continue to listen, continue to look at these people, continue to step back from this first and see what happens. You know, when I first confronted this group a year and a half ago, like I said, you know what? I need to step back from this situation. You know, I dove in too quick. I need to see what these people are about first. And then I'll come back, and we came back hard. I was able to share information that everyone can see, and I didn't make anybody come out. I showed you the information. You decided whether it was right or wrong for our community, and then you made the decision to come out. All I did was put the evidence there for you to see. So once again, thank you guys, the community of Cudahy and the surrounding areas, for coming through. I wish I could shout out all the names in my head, but you guys know who you are. I stood by you. You stood by me. We stood by our community. Thank you guys so much. Once again, this was episode 5 of Local Look. You can find me on soundcloud.com/knowyourenemyband. You can find me on Facebook, The Southeast Patriot. The page is called Alan Rock Southeast LA. You can just add me, Alan Garcia. Thank you guys so much. I'm out of here. And hey, let's stay involved, huh? Love you guys.